Look, today we are completely skipping the sugarcoating and diving straight into the brutal, unyielding mechanics of self-discipline. We're pulling from some incredibly intense, highly motivational source material today, and we're gonna break down exactly what it takes to stop being average and start actually executing on your goals. No fluff, no gentle reminders. We are just looking at the raw anatomy of what makes a person phenomenal. Let's get right into it. Okay, I wanna hit you right out of the gate with this jarring truth from the material. You don't deserve rest. Rest is for people who work. We live in a world that constantly tells us to take it easy, right? Maybe even a little too often. But this perspective, it completely flips that narrative on its head. It points out the absolute danger of just chilling every single day when you haven't actually accomplished a single thing. You only get to go to sleep when you've done something. If you're lazy, if you're not putting in the effort, well, you simply haven't earned the right to rest. It is a harsh wake-up call for sure, but it perfectly sets the baseline for everything we're about to uncover today. All right, section 1, the grave of comfort, digging your own trap. So this is the core problem we all face, the grave of comfort. Our source defines this as a trap you crawl into entirely voluntarily. But why do we do it? Honestly, it's because your ego is a liar. Your ego tells you everything's totally fine just so you can avoid the pain of discipline. It whispers that you're winning when you're actually not. And when you refuse to accept that your situation is your own fault, you just naturally slide down the path of least resistance. You slide right into weakness and fragility, and before you know it, you are buried in this grave of comfort. You're completely stagnant and you've essentially lost all control over your own life. So the big question is, how do we escape this grave? That brings us to section 2, mind control, the general and the soldier. To get out of that grave, you literally have to become the absolute master of your own mind. You have to exercise mind control, which is defined here as immediate obedience to your own orders without question or negotiation. I want you to think of this internal dynamic like a military setup. You are the commanding general, right? You're giving the orders, but you're also the soldier. And guess what? The soldier is absolutely not allowed to talk back. The soldier doesn't get to negotiate. There is no, I'll do it later, or maybe just one more episode. None of that. There is only immediate obedience to the orders you give yourself. Because here's the thing, there's a massive difference between doing what you love and doing what you loathe. The easy path is just doing what you're interested in. Literally anyone can do that. But the path to greatness, that requires doing what you absolutely hate. Our source makes this crystal clear. Sometimes you just have to do the things you despise so you can ultimately live the way you actually want to live. If a difficult task is going to help you reach your goal, even if every single fiber of your being hates it, you have to execute the order as the soldier and just do it anyway. So I really want you to pause right now and answer this internally. What is your why? Seriously, think about it. Because when that internal friction kicks in, and believe me it will, a reason is the only thing that is going to save you. You need a rock solid why. Because this all builds into a very real, everyday micro battle. Picture this, 6 a.m., the alarm clock rings. 6:05 a.m., you're just staring at the ceiling. That desire to quit creeps in and you say to yourself, man, I do not want to get up. But then, 6:06 a.m., that is the precise moment your why has to take over. Your why steps up and yells, push yourself, get up. Your reason for doing all of this is literally the only thing that will push you when you physically and mentally just cannot push yourself. So again, who are you executing for? The source lists these powerful external forces. Mom, dad, your children, your grandma, your sister. When you want to quit, when you want to just give up, thinking about who relies on you gives you that critical edge. It gives you the advantage you need to get back up when life has already knocked you down 3 times and you're lying there thinking you're done. Your why makes you believe again. Section 3, embracing the uncomfortable, the myth of the fair weather beast. Now, the source calls out a very common human tendency here. It's so easy to be a beast when the conditions are perfect, isn't it? You're a beast when the weather's nice, when the coach tells you to do something easy, when you're playing your favorite position, and when absolutely everything is just going your way. But the exact second stuff starts happening, the second it gets tough, you start to break, you start to bend, you start to fold. You have to learn to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. It is not always going to be the way you like it. But if you really want this, you have to learn to sacrifice what you currently are for what you will eventually become. There's a really stark contrast in mindsets here that we need to talk about. The average mindset, it quits when it's tired. And look, we all get tired. But you don't reach greatness by stopping at exhaustion. The phenomenal mindset, you only quit when you are done. You stop only after you have competed. You stop only after you have fully executed and completed the mission. And what does it actually mean to truly execute? Our source elevates this concept entirely. Execution is described as an act of relentless worship and dedication to the dream. You gotta eat the dream, sleep the dream, talk the dream. The source demands that you put in the work like your professor is grading your paper, like you have a massive life-changing examination coming up, like you are trying to get credit and graduate. You have to work with that intense level of focus every single day. And you have to do it with intense urgency. Every opportunity is the last opportunity. Every single minute, every hour of the day, you have an opportunity to reprove yourself. Why? Because the very day you become content, the day you stop evaluating yourself, stop growing and stop getting better, well, that's the day you die. That is the day the competition, the person who has been relentlessly trying to catch you, will finally catch you. Which brings us to section 4, execution over dreaming. Stop being average. Listen, you were phenomenal. You were great. So why on earth are you acting average? Nobody is stopping you but you. You haven't given yourself enough credit to realize that making just one simple adjustment can change your entire life. Just get up a half hour earlier. Literally, just 30 minutes. Then, increase the intensity. Work 1 hour longer. Put in that extra time and outwork everybody around you every single minute and every single hour of the day. And fundamentally, stop hitting the snooze button. Making these tiny, uncomfortable micro-sacrifices is truly the only way you will ever stop merely dreaming about success and actually start living the dream. We're wrapping up with this final, lingering command from the source. No excuses, just adjustments. I want you to dig deep today. Stop stopping yourself. You have the absolute power to make the rest of your life the best of your life, but it requires relentless discipline and immediate obedience to your own mind. No more excuses. So, what adjustment are you going to make tomorrow morning when that alarm rings? Think about it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.